To aspiring entrepreneurs, I'd say fall in love with your customers. And you don't need to understand the industry 100%. You don't need to, there are a lot of things that people say you need, but you don't. Understand that it might take a little longer than you would expect to get to the place where you want to go. Recognize your strengths and your weaknesses with your whether it's personality or actual, like, I need someone who can code and I can't code. So, what does that look like? And just be like brutally honest.
And welcome to today's episode of Facing Disruption, where we're going to talk about the hidden $170 billion industry that is agriculture. So really excited with this. We have Courtney Kwan joining us. She is the CEO of Eartha Pro. She's been in the agriculture industry for a number of years now. And we'll talk a little bit about your background. You worked originally with Home Depot and Lowe's doing nationwide sales. You won some awards with that. You have a really interesting story about your journey into entrepreneurship, and we're going to hear more about that and building products and getting into it. So I'll pause there before I take all of your intro and let you introduce yourself a little bit.
Well, awesome. I'm Courtney Kwan. I started off in the green industry. We call it the green industry. It includes agriculture, it includes nursery work, includes like lawn care, landscaping, sometimes even construction. So I started off about 6 years ago in it. But before, my first job out of college was at PepsiCo. With Frito, I was at Frito-Lay. I was driving trucks all over Northern Virginia, delivering and merchandising and ordering Frito-Lay chips. So that led me to then my first like lawn and garden type job at a chemical manufacturing company where I traveled all over the U.S. I've sold in millions of dollars through Home Depot, Lowe's. I had multiple sales reps. And this is when I was like 23. I was like in my early 20s doing this. So, I mean, that was really, really fun, learning how to sell an incremental inventory and getting into the industry, going to a lot of different types of trade shows, knowing how to manage a trade show, manage the inventory of a CPG kind of company. And then that led me to being like, you know what? I can start my own company. I saw such a gap between the owner operators of small businesses, so 0 to 10 employees, usually family owned, to like these gigantic companies like nurseries, landscaping places, landscaping supply hubs. And I was like, wow, there's just not like a software that really fits these small guys well. And this is 90% of the industry. Like you said in the very beginning, this is a massive industry that is not discussed enough.
107 billion by 2030.
Yeah,
it's huge.
Yeah,
and it's legitimate. So
almost every I'd say at a Lowe's and Home Depot, most of these gigantic hubs that you already shop at and then you know of, about 25 of their total ticket items. 25% of their total ticket items going out the door are lawn and garden items. So anyway, you were saying?
Yeah. Okay, so that's great. First, I love the journey, and I think that this is going to be an interesting topic to get into because I think a lot of times when we talk about people or talk to people or people talk about wanting to be entrepreneurs, they look for these problems and want to jump right in.
Yeah.
Whereas you actually spent the time growing in the industry and learning the industry. And I want to get to the importance of that. But before we get into that, let's talk about what we mean when we say the agriculture industry. Because, on one hand, we're thinking like the garden centers.
Yes.
On the other hand, we're thinking the giant combines that are on farms just harvesting wheat and harvesting everything.
Yeah.
So let's define some of that agriculture industry.
Yeah, so I guess you can divide it into 3 different sections. So there's agriculture, so you could think of like the FDA, FDA. You can think of like actual food and consumption of food, then you can think of the sustainability industry. So this is like the giant combines, the wind, like the wind, oh my god, turbines, anything like actual sustainability, like the clean green industry. Sorry, not clean, but the clean sustainability industry. And then the third industry I'm talking about is the green industry, which is not the other two that I mentioned. The green industry is what's the $170 billion industry, which is aside from the like sustainability. It's also aside from kind of the agricultural aspect. So this is like quite literally building pergolas, building pools, and any kind of like lawn care maintenance. Think about the people that have to maintain the lawn in DC, or the people that manage Soldier Field, or even the people who are making sure that your favorite football stadium is green when your favorite team plays. Like anything from that to AI lawnmowers.
There are a ton of them that were just at CES.
Yeah. AI lawnmowers are huge now. They're even some of them are completely autonomous. Some homeowners are buying them, $5,000 AI lawnmowers, just so they can.
Should be so lucky.
I know, just so they can just mow their own grass, because it's very expensive. And also, I'm also talking about the nursery part of the industry. The chemical application part of the industry, anything from pest control, like if you're in New York City, rat control, to making sure the groundhogs don't destroy the turf don't destroy the turf before a PGA game. Because those golfers, that turf's expensive. These games are expensive. So anyway, anything from residential to commercial, and like anything having to do with grass, really. Or ornamental turfs, or I guess any kind of weeds or pesticides. So that's what I mean when I talk about the green industry.
That's great. So we have a good idea of what specifically in that segment is forecasted at $170 billion. I love that you brought up the grass and the lawns. There was a time when I lived on a property with my own lawn, and I spent thousands trying to maintain that lawn, and it was such a waste of money.
No.
So, I mean, for me, because, first, the lawn never actually looked that much better, which is probably a skills issue. But I totally get it, how much people are spending for it. And part of that is also, like, you're having a lawn that big, you're paying for landscaping, which I understand is, what you're focusing on is kind of your niche down is family-owned businesses and things like that. So, why is there such an opportunity there? Let's start there. Like, why does this seem like such a hidden gem?
I feel like it's a hidden gem because, 90% of the industry are these small mom and pop, under 10 employee kind of places. And it's harder for them to get enough like face time with customers. Like some of them don't even advertise. So that's one thing. And another thing is I think there's a huge stigma with the green industry. Like a lot of us are older. A lot of us aren't very tech savvy. They're not in like they're not in like high tech circles. So a lot of it's like more rural, around the suburbs kind of thing. So it just doesn't it's not very sexy. So I don't think a lot of people are like itching to get into it. But if you do, I think the people make a huge difference in the industry. There's such an abundance mentality of like, hey, like if I help you, you'll help me. Let's grow together. And like let's try to be good people while we do it.
I love that.
So those are I think two major reasons why it's under the radar. I also think that it's not quite as under the radar as you'd expect, especially when it comes to the manufacturing part of the industry, like the lawnmowers and especially the AI lawnmowers. But just the riding lawnmowers, they're incredible technology. Like they have zero turn mowers now. So like as you're like turning the mower, it's zero turn. So there's literally no no gap
Yeah.
when you're like striping the lawn.
Mm-hmm.
In some of the construction equipment, they even have things like USB ports and to make it more comfortable, heated
Bluetooth,
seats.
Sarah.
Yeah,
Heated
Bluetooth,
seat,
yeah,
right?
they have-
Massage you while you're blowing your lawn. Or blowing your lawn.
whatever you're doing, like you can charge your phone from it.
Yeah.
There's air conditioning now, and
Mm-hmm.
not like that's super high tech, but it's just stuff that you wouldn't expect. There's like coffee cup warmers, and along with the zero turn stuff, which is incredible. So I think a lot of the manufacturers hire from like Texas A&M, and they hire from more like the Midwest schools,
Yeah.
like the Midwest colleges. So I think just because of our proximity to those Midwest colleges, because we're on DC right now, it's just not talked about as much.
Yeah. Okay. So super interesting. We're seeing the technology moving forward, and then what is the gap? So these mom and pop shops, like I think about mom and pop shops. Like I was in the scuba diving industry for a long time,
Amazing.
right? And it's one of those leisure businesses where you get a lot of scuba divers who love to scuba dive and hate running the business.
Oh yeah,
Right?
yeah.
And so financially, as a business, it almost never was sustainable because they weren't treating it like a business.
Yeah.
So when you're working with the smaller mom and pop landscapers and things like that, are you seeing something similar to that?
It's almost exactly.
Yes. Let's talk about what the opportunity is and the gap there is.
Yeah. It's almost exactly what I'm seeing. Like it's not about, well, obviously you want to have quality work. Like you want to do the job you say you're gonna do. But also, a lot of our customers sometimes they don't route well. Sometimes they don't know, like they route their days well. Sometimes they forget to send out their invoices. I've talked to so many homeowners who are like, my lawn guy hasn't sent me an invoice in like 6 months. I don't know when I'm gonna get the bill, and when I do get it, I have no idea what it's gonna be.
We'll list
It's crazy.
We'll list them in the comments so you can give them some business.
It's just really crazy, and it's not that these like lawn care guys are lazy. They do their job really well. It's just that they became lawn care guys usually out of high school or sometimes even before, because their dad did it or because they're just getting money during the summers, and that's how it started. But they did it so they wouldn't have to sit down at a desk and do paperwork. Like that's really like it's the lifestyle of doing it that they like kind of fell in love with. So they're not good with the back office, and so that's why we created Eartha Pro, to help them be good at their back office and make things really, as easy as possible to understand. Because part of it, on top of that, is just margin. Like, do you even know if you're being profitable? Like, what's your hourly rate? If some of the guys I work with don't know their hourly rate. They don't know the margin of their job. They're just like, oh, I think it should cost $20. I'm like, $20, $20 to just be there for like 10, 20 minutes. Like, what about the things you're using? What about the equipment you're bringing? What about your overhead? Like, and so the software that me and my co-founder made helped them understand their numbers, so they're no longer, they can run their business profitably for longer and make the business that they want.
Yeah, and cash flow management. I hear companies having challenges with that, regardless of the industry.
Yeah.
Some things that I see, even tech entrepreneurs not really realizing, it's like, hey, you have to manage your cash flow, and sometimes it's going to be very difficult to be able to properly forecast the cash coming in and checking like outstanding accounts payable because you're moving so quickly. And I'm thinking, especially with like cloud service providers, right? And it's like, oh, we have these subscriptions are going up and down, and getting that view is challenging, and a lot of business owners don't think about it. I mean, even in tech, you're building a product because you love to build a product, especially if you're an engineer.
Yeah.
You're in lawn care because you love lawn care and landscaping and beautifying.
They're obsessed with grass.
Yeah, so you love the job, but you hate the job, right? Because it's the two sides of the job, the back office side, the business side of it. Yeah. So I love that, like, the conversation you're having how do you approach that, right? Because you were saying it's a smaller community and you're coming in, even though you're with experience, you're kind of coming in as a outsider to that.
Yeah.
So like, how are you approaching and building those relationships with your customers?
Oh, you mean finding them or building the relationship?
Not just finding them, but also building the relationship and earning their trust.
Yeah. So a lot of like I kind of touched on this earlier, but 90% of the industry, so there's over 700,000 lawn care and landscaping companies in the United States that we know of, because that's just that we know of. Only 10% of those are like the multi-million-dollar landscaping companies. The 90% of those are like these small mom and pop shops, and they, I guess they're used to not being heard by any kind of softwares, just because like in the big software's eyes, of big companies' eyes, it's just like, oh, why would I spend, why would I spend an hour onboarding you when I could spend an hour onboarding a large multi-million-dollar company and make so much more money doing it? So there's that. We're getting on so many industry podcasts and we're making a lot of friends. We're going to so many industry trade shows of all different sizes, just like meeting people, getting feedback on our product, and really like spending time with our customers. Like I feel like a lot of entrepreneurs kind of like are afraid to talk to their customers, like beyond the like what do you want from a software? Like obviously those are questions you need to ask about your product, but like we genuinely have like many hour-long discussions with our customers about Eartha Pro and about the software, but then also like we have one customer that's I don't know, like has like 6 kids. And like I remember their names. I remember the kids' names. Like I remember, and I know as we scale, it's going to be harder to do that. But having a CRM in general, where you can like put some of this information in and just like deload it out of your brain, is so important. So that's how we do a lot of other things too. But just like showing up and knowing how to show up for your kind of customer, I think is really, really important.
Yeah, because one of the things that I experience a lot is the difference in lingo, right? Especially in some of the consulting I did, where I had to quickly shift from the manufacturing floor to the engineering and design department, and they all have their own language. And the second you use the wrong language, they're like, "No, you don't know who I am."
Yeah, the second I say AI to anyone, in like a lot of people in the green industry, especially our customers, they're just like, never mind, too fancy. Like too fancy. Please stop. Like, or like I can see like the light of their eyes, like just go out. It even happens sometimes when I say the word software. Or so my co-founder worked at like some big tech companies, and at first I was like, oh yeah, like during my sales pitch, or not even a sales pitch, but when I talk about Eartha Pro, I'll say he worked at this big company, and like I'm sure that will help with our credibility. No, like our customers were like, oh, it must be really, really fancy. Like it must be like really hard to use. And I was like, oh my God, that's not what I wanted to convey, like at all.
Yeah.
So the lingo is super important. Just to not turn people off.
Yeah. I love hot takes, right? Those are my favorite. Hot take. Nobody cares that you were at a FANG company unless there's some Silicon Valley investor. Hot take.
Oh, just knowing who your audience is, I think that's just like a overall, like you should, when you're building a business, you're not just building a product, you're building like a sales funnel and a marketing funnel, and like everyone's always, no matter how big of a company you are, you're always trying to adjust and figure it out.
Yeah.
So
I love that, because I see the same thing. And I mean, it's hard for me too. I'm not going to say that I'm perfect at it, but building the product is sometimes the easy part. Talking and getting to know your customer and getting over the fear of them saying this is garbage. That's kind of the harder part.
It happened. Like in the very beginning, no one was like, this is trash, Courtney. But I think people in, I guess the tech space, because lawn care is a generally unsexy industry for a lot of people. It's getting over the hump of just getting them to listen to me.
Yeah.
And so like, like why should I care? Like it really sucks, but getting people to care sometimes and getting people to like want to listen to you can be the hardest hump there, the hardest journey in a way. But yeah. Anyway.
Let's dig into that a little more, because this is something that I've faced repeatedly during my entrepreneurship journey. In fact, I get it sometimes with this podcast, right? People who can't relate or don't understand will come back and say, when are you going to get a real job? Where's the stability? Where's the revenue? And like, I get what they're saying, but when you approach it that way, and I think a lot of entrepreneurs face this, and maybe we don't talk about it enough, especially if you're not in an supportive entrepreneurship circle. The commentary you get from friends and family, like, what are you doing? And I think you had some interesting stories with that, if you wanted to.
Well, until I started making money with Eartha Pro, my friends, my friends didn't really know what to say. They were like, wow, you're going, like, I like dropped my full-time job, and this became like, this startup became my full-time job. And they were just like, are you sure you want to do this in this industry? Like, you could be doing anything. And I was like, well, yes, this is what I want to do. And then with my family, as soon as I got into the lawn care and landscaping industry, they were like, oh, so you sell dirt. Like, no one sells dirt. It's mulch. It's mulch. Like, so, like, they were like, do you sell dirt? And I was like, oh, wow, you didn't even give, like, me the respect of calling it fertilizer. Like, fertilizer at least has, like, the NPK formulations of, like, the potassium and the nitrogen. And, like, it's got, like, plant science. I had to learn plant science to get into to get into that role and do that role really well. I got awards for that role. Because I traveled all over, like, the United States, going to different, like, Lowe's, Home Depots, and then the independent garden centers and, like, landscaping places. And so kind of people really didn't take me seriously when I also, like, my family didn't really take me seriously that much when I was saying I was going to do the startup. They were very concerned for me. And I just had to, the founder journey is so weird because you have to kind of tightrope the balance between being like, I'm so delusional that I think, like, there's no way this isn't gonna work, and then also being, like, incredibly critical and perfectionistic about what you're doing, and then being like, okay, well, like, 90+% of startups fail. So, like, am I really, like, you have to be, like, critically delusional.
Yeah, I
like,
love
in order
that.
to do.
I love that.
Well, it's definitely crazy, but until I really started making money, they were like, I don't know what you're doing here. But I just feel very positive about what I'm doing still. And I feel like really deep down in my heart that this is going to work. Yeah. And I think having expectations.
It's already working.
Yeah. Well, like, it's already working, but like that I can make it the kind of business that I want. Yeah. Like, if I want to scale it 100x, then I can do that. But if I want to keep it or like do like a lifestyle business, then I can also do that. Yeah. So I think being honest with your expectations about your kind of business that you want to build, like, do you want funding? Do you not want funding? We bootstrapped Eartha Pro, or do you want funding? Some of those questions are still up in the air, but I think just understanding what your real options are and being critically delusional.
Well, you need faith. I need faith that what you're doing is going to make it. And I do respect this mentality that I am doing the right thing. Like, you need something, because the emotional resilience you need as a founder to wake up and, as you're investing, it's like watching the bank account drop every day. Having customers say no. Like, what were some of the things that the habits or some of the strategies to kind of move past the trough of disillusionment?
Oh, well, I have a great co-founder. So that's one thing. Having a great co-founder who's someone who's, like, an expert in their field. So my co-founder is a software developer and is also, I guess, has the same faith, like critically delusional faith
Yeah.
that you have. I think it's really important. It's also a family-owned business, so my co-founder is also my husband. That's a whole other can of worms. Like, if you want to talk about that, we can talk about working with your significant other.
Yeah.
We named our company after our cat, Eartha Kit. And I think there's just something about that just makes me smile. That I want to make it work. I want to make it work. In like, obviously our whole family went into this like head on.
Yeah.
So anyway, that gives me a lot of faith. Something that I do every morning is I make a list of the things that I want to do and the things that I need to do that day. And the list just never ends, but it,
Yes. Yeah.
it never ends, but it definitely gives me a feeling of accomplishment. I also work out a lot. I go to the gym like 3 to 4 times a week for like
I love
hour,
that, yeah.
and like 1 hour plus. And I think I have not met a single entrepreneur in my entrepreneurship journey in the lawn care industry, or even in Virginia or Richmond or Northern Virginia, that doesn't take care of themselves physically in one way or another.
Yeah.
So I've met a lot of ultra marathoners. They're doing this. So eating, I count my calories. I'm pretty obsessive about it's not about losing weight for me. It's about like understanding what I'm eating so I can make more informed decisions about like my body composition. So I think that's something that prevents burnout. And yeah, some people might think it's extra work, but I find it that even if I didn't get enough done that day for work, I'm like, wow, I counted my calories.
Yeah,
I went to the
you did
gym.
something.
I did something.
Yeah, like I'll rock climb, and I really try to carve out that time. This is, no matter what you sacrifice, you need to get here.
Yeah.
And like the past couple weeks, obviously we have been the holidays, we've been traveling, and I haven't gotten, and I feel the difference of like, oh man, yeah, I got all these emails out, but it didn't work out. And physically you kind of feel that. So now it's about turning that around and getting out there and taking care of yourself.
Yeah. That's great that you rock climb.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. That's been my, I won't say how long I've been doing it, because when I found out being in DC, people are way younger than I think they are, and I've been climbing longer than they've been alive, and it makes me feel bad. So,
Oh, are you on V6s yet? I'm on a V6, and you're like, I'm on V3.
I don't do, many of you who know me know that I have a permanent wrist injury, and I don't go like crazy bouldering anymore because it's from bouldering.
Yeah, I've injured myself while bouldering. I personally don't do it anymore because I know too many people who have injured themselves pretty seriously. I will top rope though.
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as I get seen a rope.
Yeah, exactly. I'm willing to do more if I know that there's an element of safety in not hitting the ground with bouldering, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's important to understand your limits, right? Especially as an entrepreneur. It's like to be able to make that informed decision to say like, hey, I'm pushing myself too hard. I need to take a step back. I think, for me, one of the things that I do is I give my assistant permission to stop me and say like, you're done, doesn't matter, go work out, go sleep. Like, I don't want to hear from you, even though, for the past 2 weeks I've been traveling, we're behind. But she's like, no, you've been at CES, stop, and we'll catch up on Monday.
Yeah.
And like, I've literally empowered her with this. It's like, you need to protect me from me.
Yeah.
And it's helpful, right? It's one of the safeguards.
You absolutely need someone like that. And my co-founder husband is the person for me. So sometimes we work really late sometimes, and we're just like, there are days you just need to get it done, and there are other days where you're like, I've hit my limit, no more.
Yeah. I think that's so, to have somebody that you can trust to do that. And we've talked about that in other podcasts around burnout and preventing it, the systems you can put into place, the exercises. But at the end of the day, it's like you also need somebody who you feel that you can trust to give permission to stop you and that you'll respect their opinion.
Yeah. Something that I've also like if we're talking about co-founders, something that I also really think is is important is finding a co-founder who is down to go on the same life journey as you, not just financial journey. Because if you meet someone who's like, I want to scale some sort of company to like $100 million, $1,000 billion, then like, you know, if you're down to do that and sacrifice the things in your personal life to do it, then that's fine. But if you're looking for someone who, like, if you know that this person specifically wants to buy a house in the next year or wants to start a family in the next 3 to 5 years, sorry if this is also a hot take, but I think that your personal goals are just as important as your professional goals when it comes to like your co-founder alignment.
I agree. And this is why I'm always afraid of the like Y Combinator mentality of like, what do they call it? I don't think they call it founder bashes, but we'll call it founder matching.
Oh yeah, they do that. They do that.
It's like, hey, you know, meet this person. Yeah, okay. Are you interested in the same thing? Good. You're the founders.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, this is the equivalent of being married in Vegas, right? Wonderful. Okay. You know, were you founder? Did you originally co-found this idea? Like, you came up with the idea together, or was it like, hey, I'm going to start embarking on this, we work together, and then we're like, okay, we're both bought in now?
Oh, so it was my idea when we were dating. So we were just boyfriend, girlfriend at the time. I told him about it. I had a few other ideas before this one, but then I settled on this one because I was like, this idea feels like it has like the biggest pain points. I've done the most research around this idea. Like, I think that there's a real opportunity. So I brought it to him and he was like, yeah, let's do this. Like he was in corporate life before, just like me, and he wanted a change in his career. So I brought it to him, and then we started working on it we started working on it, and then we got married. And then, you know, we fully launched the product. Like, I think the morning after our wedding, I was doing a demo at like 7 a.m. So some people ask me like, how do you balance your relationship with your company? And I'm just like, it's not about balance. It's about like, these two things are just always going to be, in my opinion, like intrinsically connected. So it's not about sacrifice. It's just about like, this is my new normal. This is what I have to do to get the things that I want. And so it's not about like, I mean, there are times where I don't want to talk about Eartha Pro with him, but there are also times where I'm like, this is just part of the life I'm building, and I love this.
We're building. Not we. Not we. You and your co-founder
me and my co-founder husband. Yeah, this is just like the life that I'm building.
The co-founder husband. I like that title.
Yeah. It's funny because some people are like, if you say co-founder first, you seem cold, but if you say husband first, it's like, ooh.
My husband and my co-founder. I could definitely see the difference. Maybe you change it depending on who you're talking to.
Oh yeah, I mean, definitely. But I mean, it's whatever feels sustainable with you. So
there's one thing. I mean, I've been through trying to bring co-founders together, and you're absolutely right. It's like you are starting a relationship with that person. Their personal life affects the professional life. Their runway, their hopes and dreams, and if you're like, yeah, we're scaling this big thing, it's going to take a lot of time, and you need to be okay with that. But they have kids and a mortgage. Like, you kind of need to know that. And those are those difficult conversations that, I mean, even couples have problems discussing this.
I mean, I hate this because I feel like I'm just gonna get so canceled. But I'm just so canceled because I don't want to act like I'm being discriminatory in any way, because I'm not. I'm just saying, let's just be real with each other. Like, how much time can you commit? For how long? Do you want to get investment money? Because that means that your job becomes funding instead of something else. And you know, anyway. So that's
They have the, I've seen it too. And honestly, I recommend this to everybody. You know, they have couples counselors, but they also have co-founder counselors.
Oh, they should.
Yeah. But do they have couple co-founder, or is it two different people? Do you have like, oh my God, the couples therapist and the co-founder therapist sitting on two sides of the couch.
Well, like I
I'd
said,
be
it's
like,
mistake. It's the same person because your relationship and your like when you work with your partner, your relationship and your company become so interwoven that you can't pull them apart because they're like in the fabric of each other.
Yeah. And it's good and bad.
Yeah,
But-
it's good and bad. I think it's definitely the most amazing relationship when you have it right.
Yeah.
I have seen it personally go tragically wrong. So being honest, if you can even work with your spouse, I think is really important.
Yeah. And you have to be honest about that.
Yes, I think
Same with your
just be
co-founder.
honest. So.
Same with, and like, this is a challenging thing. And I think this is the good point to make. We're not going to answer all of the problems here, but we want to recognize it. Like, you have to be intentional about it.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I do worry, like, I would say that this is kind of a known secret that part of the whole YC culture is get people right out of college that don't know any better that are going to jump in
Yeah.
because they're hoping that you're going to scale long enough to profit off of you.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think that's just like a first job out of college thing.
Yeah.
I worked so hard my first job out of college. I think I wake up at 2:30 in the morning and I'd get back to my apartment around 8 p.m. and I was obsessed. I had the 1 meal a day diet, which was bad.
Oh my God.
It was terrible for me, but I just knew that if I could do that job, I could do anything.
Yeah.
I mean, I started as a route sales rep for PepsiCo Frito-Lay. So anyway, that gave me the like confidence and courage that if I could, Eartha Pro has been difficult to build. I'm not gonna lie. It's definitely difficult, but I think physically and mentally, sometimes I feel like that my first job out of college was tougher in some ways. But anyway, yeah. Your first job out of college when people are like the what you said about the Y Combinator people, like you literally just don't know what your rights are.
Exactly.
And like what your expectations are. So you're just, I mean, I think I was just trying to prove myself as a competent person who could work as an adult. I didn't know what I meant.
And of course now, you know, we've had so many hot takes on Y Combinator that they're looking at us right now saying, yeah, these two, if we ever see their names come up, they are never allowed to be here. Sorry for taking that opportunity from.
Or like it's, I mean, maybe they're happy people are talking about them.
Maybe,
So,
you know,
I don't know.
you know what? Honestly, when you get out of the tech scene, the startup scene, and the Bay Area, less and less people have heard about that. I think that, you know, living in the Bay Area for 8 years, coming out to DC, and then growing up in Philly and all that, like, the sphere of influence is a lot smaller in the startup community than we think it is when you're surrounded by it, which is also what I really like about what you did, which is getting into the weeds of your industry with the customers. You're not going to get that answer being at, you know, the Starbucks where everybody's hacking to show off that they're coding.
I got the literal weeds. Got the literal weeds. I taught people. I was like, you use like the glyphosate or glufosinate or whatever to kill your crabgrass. That's what I would talk about all day.
Yeah.
I would talk about that for days.
Yeah.
I warned people about the spotted lanternflies 5 years ago, and now they were everywhere this summer. But anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't know from the beginning. I did not know that I would want to start a startup, but I'm very like entrepreneurial minded. So all my jobs kind of led me to this. But I think it's very important to know your industry and care about your industry and be like, if I want to start a startup, what industry is it? Do I just think it's cool, or is it something like, could I see myself being on the road at trade shows if trade shows make sense? Does your go-to-market align with the kind of work you want to do?
Yeah.
Not just, is it the industry you want? But luckily I knew these things before I started Eartha Pro because I already did.
You were there.
I mean, I was in it. So
I would argue that, you know, if you have an idea that you want to start, before you ever even think about writing a line of code and what your tech stack is going to be, you go work in the industry for some amount of time.
Yeah, or just interview people.
Or interview
Yeah.
people. Yeah, like just you have to be in it.
Yeah.
Then worry about what the code is.
Yeah, I think that, and then looking up your TAM and your applicable market, and like just jotting down ideas. There's so many great AI tools though that can help you.
Oh no, you said the
figure out your
word.
idea.
We lost all of the agriculture audience. Oh, we're sorry. Yeah. So, like,
No.
as we wrap up and round out the conversation, like, what advice? Let's split this in tiers. I've been liking doing that lately. So, let's talk about first advice that you would give to your customer, like your general customer base, like what you're seeing to help them recognize that they do indeed have a problem that needs to be solved.
Yeah. Okay. I might go a little beyond that, but
Okay.
I would say to our customers who are the mom and pop 10 employee and fewer lawn and landscape chemical applicator companies, is that I've seen people build generational wealth within like 3 or 4 years in this industry.
Amazing.
Where they, their families will be wealthy for eternity if they don't, spend it all.
Yeah.
I've seen generational wealth happen in this industry, and I have helped people go from I'm just doing this on the side, I just need more money, I'm doing this after college, to actually not just doing the work but building a business. So I think that mental switch of I'm not like this is a side gig to I could make this my main gig, like I could make this my profession,
Yeah.
I think is really, really important. And like when I talk to someone, I kind of know like whether they have that in their mind or not. So I just say that like you can make this your profession. You can make serious money doing this. You just need to be organized.
Yeah.
You need to be organized, and you need some sort of CRM. And there are a lot of great consultants in this space that are very happy to work with you.
Yeah, I love that. Now let's drop to the entrepreneurs who are looking for the problem, looking to build the product, thinking, do I need a co-founder? What kind of advice and feedback?
Okay, to aspiring entrepreneurs, I'd say fall in love with your customers. And you don't need to understand the industry 100%. You don't need to, there are a lot of things that people say you need, but you don't. Understand that it might take a little longer than you would expect to get to the place where you want to go. Recognize your strengths and your weaknesses with your whether it's personality or actual like I need someone who can code and I can't code. So, what does that look like? And just be like brutally honest about, can I quit my job? Can I is it realistic I can find someone that can code who wants to work with me? Because who wants to work with me is really important.
Yeah.
And just starting to find the right circles around where you currently live, where you can physically go to an office and meet people who you think can get you to where you want to go. Whether that's like Refraction in Tyson's Corner or Startup Virginia in Richmond or wherever you are. There are so many startup hubs all across the country. Just getting involved there can help you with things that you don't know.
Yeah. And it's a good shout out to Refraction because we're filming from one of their conference rooms because we're still working on the podcast studio, but we'll drop a link to Refraction. They have Community Tuesdays and, hopefully come by and meet everybody. Okay. So then the third thing for the people working in the industry, like coming up out of college, what advice would you have for them? Because I know that they're thinking like, what is my life and what is my future? And this is just a job.
Oh, just advice people for in the green industry or just
in
anyone?
general, like people post-college, maybe they're in their first job. I think, they're probably thinking, I'm just doing this for now, but I don't know what I want to be when I grow up.
I think right now, understanding how AI works, no matter what industry you're in, if you're in graphic design, if you're in a software developer, if you're in sales or marketing, it doesn't really matter. You could own a bakery. It doesn't matter. You should definitely learn the basics of AI. Not even vibe coding, but just like how to use ChatGPT, how it works, how to make a project in ChatGPT. Like, in keeping up with the tools, I think is so important, because I think for the people not using it, I think in 10, 15 years, you could be so behind on the current workforce.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I love it. All right, any final words?
No.
How do we find you?
Well, yeah, I guess I do. So you can find me on LinkedIn at Courtney. I'm changing it to Kwan, but it's it's Courtney, so Courtney, and last name is Krstich. You can find me on LinkedIn. You can find Eartha Pro also on LinkedIn. It's like Eartha Kit, but just Eartha Pro. So LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. So please reach out if you have any questions for me, or you want to just give me a chat.
Wonderful. Well, thank you very much. And we'll put links in the comments. Like and subscribe, which again, I waited until the end of the video to ask for that. So if you made it here, thank you very much. Like and subscribe, comment, and yeah, that's great. Can't wait to see how your company grows and scales.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for inviting me on the pod.